today.
Let's do it.
We're live.
Episode 97 of Bolts and Hose.
Bolts and Hose podcast.
Back again after a short hiatus.
Why didn't we do it last week? Because you were out of the country.
That's right.
You were traveling abroad.
Yes.
Not in broad, abroad.
I was, there was a Fastener show in China.
Yeah.
The Fastener exhibition. It's the same people that put on the one in Vegas that we go to every year.
It was good, huh? A lot of people, crowded.
It was good.
Massive.
You know, one thing, I don't think I told you this, there were no Americans there.
No, you told me that.
I
I asked you.
don't think I saw one American.
You stuck out like a sore
Isn't that
thumb.
odd? Maybe it's because of the tariffs? I don't know.
It's gotta be.
You just think as many Fastener importers as there are from the U.S.
Yeah.
There
It
would
is.
be
I mean,
some Americans running around there. I saw zero.
China's not a super attractive place to go anymore, I don't think, you know?
Shanghai's,
Especially with tariffs.
Shanghai's not bad.
Yeah.
And, other areas like, Beijing and Hong Kong are nicer probably, but Shanghai's a cool place.
You had some good food.
Actually, out of all the times I've been to China, this has probably been the best one for food.
Really?
Yeah.
The
this was
pictures
good.
you sent me did not look
'cause
appetizing.
I think I didn't go like a lot of the Fastener places that you'll run into that are like B7 commodity stuff. Those are all like Ningbo, which is like 2 hours south of Shanghai. And that's where you get, it's a very industrialized, I would say probably a little less sophisticated area. But I stayed more in Shanghai near the exhibition and traveled a little further north. And I don't know, you didn't get the like street food that you would get down south. Because we used to get things like, you'd walk up to some street vendor and you'd have like a chicken foot or something.
Dude, I'm out. You gotta
Literally, it was a chicken foot. I've
probably
tried
have to
this
wear a
before. It's
diaper,
like,
man.
It's
Like-
like chewing on cartilage.
Oh,
it's the
dude,
worst
I'm
thing.
out.
I don't know. I guess people's taste buds are different, but if you've ever chewed on a chicken
That's
foot,
probably why they don't grow over in China.
But in this case,
that racist?
In this case, I had some great fish, great chicken, great seafood. It was good.
Well, good.
I've got a new outlook on the whole Chinese cuisine now.
I'm glad you survived, man.
And you don't see things like sweet and sour pork or anything like that over there.
Like they don't have good tacos there.
Yeah, no.
Good pastor tacos.
You don't see any of that. Although they'll have little tortillas, and you can wrap up some meat and make your own taco. It's pretty easy. Every I think culture has their own version of tacos, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you wrap meat and bread or right.
Like Americans, our version would be a fajita, right?
Oh, fajitas.
I don't think so. A fajita is American.
You're so wrong.
Hey, Danny, tacos are Mexican. Fajitas are American, right? Fajitas. Fajitas?
This guy.
Really? I thought that was more of an American.
Isn't fajitas an American thing?
Are you saying that live, bro?
It was an Americanized version of a taco.
No, a hamburger is an American taco. A fajitas is a Mexican dish.
Brisket is American, okay?
Brisket?
Kinda. I don't think brisket is American. I think brisket is more, I think it's...
I'm going to do a little research on the fajita thing. I don't know. I think...
You're so Looney Tune. There's no way. Just say the word fajita. The J is silent.
How is a fajita different than a taco, Danny?
So
it's how it's made.
A fajita's the meat.
Yeah.
A taco can be made out of anything,
But if you call it a fajita, you wrap it up and you call it a fajita,
No.
or you're eating fajitas, right?
Fajita's the meat. Fajita is how you cook the meat.
a taco can be made out of anything, really.
So what do you call it when a fajita is inside a tortilla?
Taco.
You call it a taco.
It could be different. It could
It's a
be
taco
quesadilla,
with
it could
fajita
be
meat.
Taco, quesadilla, gordita.
So you go into a Mexican food restaurant, you order fajitas, what are you going to get?
Just
A taco? You're going to get a taco with fajita meat.
No, you're not. You're going to get a plate of meat. You're going to get a plate of meat. And then you're going to get all the fixings around it.
And then you get the tortillas and you make tacos.
Yeah,
out
you
of
make
it.
a taco.
Fajita comes from the Spanish word faja, meaning belt
Belt.
or girdle.
That's what it is. It's
It's the belt of the cow. It's the skirt steak.
I'm just eating hamburgers from here on out.
I can't believe you thought that was American.
Bryce over here is the expert on Mexican cuisine. Over
No,
here,
I'm not.
Over here chastising me, and all he's doing is repeating what you're saying.
Historically, skirt steak was a less desirable cut, often given to cowboys.
See, I knew that. See?
How does that have anything to do with anything?
I mean, maybe the cow was from America, but it was.
He maybe is an American cow that.
Okay, let's.
Ranch working.
I think-
Here, let's cheers. How about
I
that?
think we're digressing.
We haven't
Cheers, my
cheers.
man.
Another beautiful Friday in Houston, Texas.
I'm drinking a light ultra today. Bryce is back
Going
on
to the
sauce.
McKenna's.
Yeah,
The
back on the
whiskey,
sauce.
the brown liquor.
Yeah.
Never made me sicker.
What are we talking about today, Bryce? On the wonderful Bolton Nose podcast.
The beloved Cubs
Cubs, they're
are
doing great,
in
aren't
town. They are
Wow.
here.
They're doing well.
They're in town. ready to
Astros are
whoop.
doing well too.
You want to hear a funny stat?
Yes.
The Astros and the Chicago Cubs right now have the same exact record, and they're playing each other tonight and the next 3 days.
Okay, you're obviously going Cubs. I'm going Astros for
So-
this game.
So me and Chani made a bet.
Okay.
If the Astros sweep the Cubs, I owe him $100. If vice versa, if the Cubs sweep the Astros, I owe him $100.
But it's not
Or
going to be
he
a
owes me.
sweep.
Well,
It's-
right. That's
the
what.
odds of that.
That's why you
happening.
whoop ass.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make a bet on 2-1, 1-2, but who wins the series? It's kind of boring. But
Or just bet on this one game tonight.
we can bet on this game. You got a rookie pitcher. Our pitcher. Who's pitching for us? I can't remember.
What's his name?
It's Ria's pitching tomorrow.
$20. Straight up, $20.
They're young. All right, $20. Just straight up.
All right.
Who winner wins.
Astros, you got the Cubs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Done. Horton, yeah. Horton's been okay. Horton's a young kid. He's a rookie. And yours is a Weaver, I think. That's what's Weaver. Walter. Yeah. And they haven't even announced a pitcher for tomorrow. And then Framber's pitching Sunday. So that'll be the tough one.
Yeah.
Framber.
Yeah, he's hot.
Framber's pitching Sunday.
He's hot. Isn't he?
Yeah. Yep. So exciting weekend. Gonna be a big time rivalry. It's gonna be the most crowded Daikin Park's ever been.
Yeah.
The Cubs fill up every park they go to. It'll be more blue in
There
that
are
stadium.
lots of Cubs fans. I see-
Everywhere.
I see
I went to
that.
Tita's today for tacos. There was a Cubs guy. He's like, I just got into town. I'm going to the game. It's crazy. At Tita's in Humble, Texas. How about it?
Hey, another current event. Did you see this old lady sitting on I-45
Yeah.
last night?
That was my grandma. So she had to be Looney Tune. Because did you watch the video?
So a little background.
Okay.
So there was an older lady. She had a wreck in her car on I-45, major interstate going through Houston. And she gets in a wreck. And she gets out of her car. She takes a folding lawn chair out. She places it in the middle of I-45. And you're talking about
One of the busiest interstates in
at
Houston.
the end of the day, at the busiest time,
Yeah.
and sits there in traffic, stopping traffic, and she has a firearm on her. She has a gun.
An old woman too. Like old woman had like a head wrap, like skinny old lady just sitting there.
And she holds up traffic for over 2 hours.
Yeah, I thought it was more than that.
And I thought it was going to be very bad. Was it 4 hours?
Yeah.
4 hours. And then I thought it was going to end badly. I would have bet my house that she was going to be shot.
Yeah. But did you see the video of her getting hit?
No.
So there's a truck in the left-hand lane. She was in the middle lane.
18-wheeler.
I don't know if it was
Yeah.
an 18. It was a big truck,
She
like
had
a box
18
truck or
wheelers,
something.
yeah.
It was a big truck. She's driving and just cut directly to the left. So it was almost like she wanted to die.
Really?
You know, so I got the feeling like she was.
Yeah.
And then she didn't die. Her car got destroyed, and I think she just sat out and was like, fuck it, I'm done. But it was crazy, just sitting there.
I think about other states and even more so other countries that look at that situation and think, what in the hell is going on over there? Because that would never happen in the UK, right?
I don't know, but there's crazy
Nobody-
people everywhere.
Ever in the UK, because they can't even have guns there.
Well, yeah, okay, I mean, there you're right, but I think there's crazy people everywhere. The crazy people do shit every day, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I just think the U.S. there's this stigma that's associated with everybody has guns, which is probably about true. Most everybody has a gun, but to have an old lady
yeah. No, it's crazy.
have
I
a
mean,
wreck and get out and sit on the interstate in a lawn chair
Yeah, it was
with
wild.
a gun
It was wild.
and have a standoff
I've never
with
seen anything
police
like
for
it.
hours.
I've never seen anything like it.
And there was traffic
No.
backed up for miles.
Yep, it was a bad day to be driving south in Houston.
Yeah, so that was an interesting story. But it ended peacefully. I guess they negotiated with her, and she ended up giving up, and they took her into custody. You know, I'm not sure what happened to her. They probably let her go today.
No way, she's in a mental institution for sure. Yeah, she's
some evaluation.
definitely like in some sort of center for mentally.
And that was your grandma?
Yeah, that was my grandma. Yes, I went and saw her this morning.
Okay.
So you wanted to talk about high-end nickel alloys,
Yeah,
right?
I thought it would
what's
be
your
a cool topic because we're always talking about different metals. If we were to just take one family of, let's say, the Inconel type family and talk about it, all the different grades, and there's more grades than what we normally deal with because there's some exotic ones out there too, but all the standard grades of Inconel and Incoloy, and just talk about those things, where they're used, you know,
So
how
can we
they're used, what makes them different.
So Inconel is a very trademarked general term.
And since you
right?
are the expert,
I'm not an expert by any means. I lived in that world for a period of time, and so I know it
consider you
fairly
an
well.
expert, bro.
Not an expert. I'm not even close. I know a little bit. You know, I sold Inconels. I never really sold. We didn't stock a whole lot of Incoloys, so I don't know tons about Incoloys.
So the difference was, and I honestly didn't know the exact definition of this, but
temperature.
a Inconel is a nickel chrome, and it's typically where the chrome content is 50% or higher. And Incoloy has more alloying agents in it, so it's a nickel iron.
Iron, I was going to say,
Chrome.
yeah.
So, and it would typically have less than 50% chrome. So those are the difference. Because I think people hear things like 825 and they consider that an Inconel. People will say Inconel 825, but that would be wrong.
Incoloy.
You should say Incoloy
But-
825.
so
but Inconel 625 is the Inconel.
So technically, Inconel and Incoloy are trademarked by Special Metals, and I think Incoloy is Special Metals as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
But other mills make those alloys, so they don't call them Inconel. So that's kind of like the Flexitalic. Like back in the day, Flexitalic did an awesome job of branding spiral wound gaskets, so people still call them Flexitalic gaskets. It's the same thing.
Yes.
And Inconel is a trademark, but it's 718. You can buy 718 from VDM, and it's not Inconel. It's 718.
Because it's just a combination
It's a
of
trademark.
alloys and materials that make up that material.
Correct. But so back to your point. So Inconel, that's kind of my baby. I mean, that's what I sold back in the day. 718 was my favorite alloy on the planet. Still is. I love making them. I brought 3 Inconel parts. But it's more for it's more. Oh shit. I'll get that later. Inconels are more for temperature, and Incoloys are more for like corrosion resistance. So like Inconels, like 600, 625, those are meant for like super high temperature situations. And like Inconel 600, really high temperature. It's not the strongest alloy, but it does the best at temperature. And then it moves down to 625. It's kind of middle of the road. It does well in corrosion resistance. It does well in temperatures. And then 718 is kind of the bottom, but it's the strongest. It doesn't go up to the temperatures that 600 goes up to, but it's the strongest alloy out there. And then it's heat treatable too, so that gives 718 a little bit of flexibility. You can make it for API requirements, or you can do it to high strength for bolting requirements. So it has a little bit of age hardenable flexibility there. And then Incoloys, I think, is more of a corrosion resistant thing. So it's not necessarily a temperature thing.
I think both of them have great temperature resistance, corrosion resistance.
Sure, but
I
the
think
biggest difference.
the Incoloy, they'll put those other elements in there, and it doesn't have as good a temperature or corrosion resistance.
Correct.
And it's a cheaper material, so it's
Cheaper,
more of
much
an
cheaper.
economical version. Because 825 is going to be cheaper than a 625.
And 800 is one of those, like 800H. It's like half the price of 718.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, 718 is let's just say 40 bucks a pound.
800, 800H, 800H.
AT, yeah. So it's like you said. I mean, I don't know all the alloying of it, but I think it's got more iron or chrome or carbon content.
In
even
Incoloy,
maybe.
yeah.
In Incoloys.
Yeah.
It doesn't have as much nickel.
And that's the other point, is that the Incoloy versions, because of the iron and some of the other agents in there, it makes it more weldable.
Yeah.
So for fabrication,
Correct.
Incoloys are better.
Correct.
But you'll see Inconels in aerospace and extreme high temperature
High
applications like
temperatures.
furnaces and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But again, you'll see the Incoloys for fabricated parts and things that you have to weld
And there's fatigue issues too, right? Like if it's getting beat up, or like if it's they're pulling it and stretching it and pulling it, and if they're going back and forth, then you'll have fatigue issues. So that's one of the things that
Incoloy's gonna be better.
718 is one of the best in fatigue properties. I mean, it doesn't. You can beat it to shit, and it still kind of hangs on for its dear life. So it is a. I mean, there's some cool shit out there, and there's always new alloys coming out too. That's one of the fun things. You know, mills are always doing research and R&D work.
Well, there's a million different combinations of material.
million.
You can tweak it a little bit. I mean, even when you get into like 800, 800H, the H is just more of a controlled carbon content in there. And then HT, I can't remember exactly what that is, but that's more of a controlled carbon. And I think some of the other elements are more controlled.
But a
than
lot
just
of them
the
are,
standard 800.
and a lot of them are dual certified too. I mean, that's one of the things that the mills kind of got a hold of, and they're like, all right, we can make all this, and it can meet all these different things.
Yeah,
You know?
because just like when you control carbon content,
304,
one of the other
316,
materials, yeah, you can make them dual
347,
certified
yeah.
just by maintaining that carbon. Of course, it's going to certify for this, but just by default, it certifies for another.
Yep. And then there's, you know, I think 718 again. I'm gonna go back to that because you have it's a hardenable alloy. So then I go into like 660s, which is considered. I think it's considered a super stainless steel. I don't even think it's considered a nickel alloy. I think it's still a 660, or a stainless. But you can the variations of what you can do with that alloy depend on the application. You can anneal it at different temperatures. You can heat treat it for once at a temperature. You can double heat treat it. So there's just it's a wide range of things you can do to make it stronger, softer, better in temperature, et cetera, et cetera.
When I was doing a little research for this, one of the lists for the Incoloy, there was an Incoloy A286. You know what that is? I thought that was interesting.
I mean, A286 is A286, so I think they probably just grouped it into that alloy, maybe like under that brand name. But I think I think A286 is considered a stainless steel because it doesn't have enough nickel content to be considered an Inconel or a nickel alloy. Because I think to be considered a nickel alloy, it has to have over 50% nickel in it. I think I used to know that stuff, but not so much anymore. So
I'm sure we'll be corrected.
oh, please! I mean, correct the shit out of me. I mean, like I said, I ain't no expert. Google's your best friend.
So what parts did you bring?
You know, we were talking about Inconel, so I just wanted to bring some Inconel. There was actually some really cool parts. I mean, we got those spherical nuts and spherical washers that we're making. We got some 309 nuts that we just made. That was followed up. So we were making half-inch 13 309 nuts, and then we had a bunch of 718 nuts that they were getting ready to make too. Half-inch 13, so same setup. This is a cool part though that we showed. We've showed this before, but we didn't show it finished. So check this bad boy out.
Silver plated, right?
Silver plated Inconel 12 point with the locking nut. Isn't that badass?
That is awesome. Yeah, beautiful
Check
part.
that out. Yeah. So 12 point, 718, 150 min, the high strength 718. You got a nut on there with a.
What do you call that? Prevailing torque nut?
I don't know.
It's a log nut, but prevailing
torque.
I think that's the technical term for it.
You might be right.
Yeah. 12 point.
But yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful finish. It's so silver plated. We got that silver plated here in town, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
12 point head. You got that
How many pieces
prevailing
was it? You
torque nut on the inside. Very cool. It's got a bevel on it.
Over 100 pieces. I know we showed that we showed it when we made it, but I don't think we showed it with, well, I know we haven't showed it with the silver plating. So that was brought to my desk, what, a couple weeks ago? Week ago, something like that? Sexy boy. CX.
Nice. Probably have some dirty nails from working in the shop.
Working
Okay,
in the shop.
cool.
Picking your butt.
I probably fell on the ground out there.
Check this bad boy out. That thing is tiny, tiny. I don't think
Focus
I'm
that,
ever.
Bryce. There you
Look
go.
at that. Holy cow.
You lucked out.
I did luck out big time on that one. So that is 718. This is per the NACE spec. So it's a 120 min yield, socket and cap screw, number 632 by 3/8 long. So more used in sour service, downhole applications. This is actually, I think it's going on a valve ultimately. So a tiny, tiny socket cap screw made out of, I think we started out on 3/4 diameter bar and machined that down. Because 718 NACE is pretty hard to find in
Particularly right now,
small
right?
diameter.
I mean, right now there's kind of a dry spot in the supply chain.
Yeah, there is. I mean, it is all over the place. But yeah, NACE is, I think you might be able to find some half-inch NACE. I don't know exactly, but typically 3/4. Back in my day, 3/4 is the smallest diameter anyone stocked in that material. So you got to turn that down. ugly.
This
right?
is 718 as well?
That's 718 12-point nut.
Oh, beautiful, man.
Isn't that badass?
Flange nut, 12-point flange nut. There we go.
So I don't remember the size on that. I mean, what's that look like? A 1-inch
Looks about right. Fine thread, right? No.
fine thread? Yeah. 1-inch fine thread 12-point nut.
Beautiful. We make some cool stuff, man.
And I'm telling you, there's other cool parts, but I just grabbed the 718 that was running and or finished. So 12-point nut, 718, 1-inch 8, or not 1-inch 8. What's fine thread on 1-inch? 12, right? Or 14? Can't remember off the top of my head. 12, 14? 14, 12, 13, 17, 18. Yeah, so cool Inconel run through the shop. Sexy parts.
Great parts.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stock market's rocking and rolling, Bryce. You watching that? Price of oil looks good.
It's crazy. I thought, everyone's freaking out like this on Monday that it was going to just tank, and
I was worried.
it's down a little bit, or at least my stuff's down today. But today was the first day of the week that
I'm
it's
up,
been
baby.
down. It's been.
I'm going to introduce you to my guy.
Yeah, I'm good. You should. You give me a pointer or two.
Yeah.
I need to mix it up because I haven't adjusted anything in a while. I'm all in on CrowdStrike,
Well, I can show you mine.
NVIDIA, and Palantir. Palantir is.
Yeah. Well, they just won a lot of new contracts.
Yeah, dude.
So,
It's gone through the
yeah.
roof.
I think, what was it? Like, one of the government departments gave them a huge contract for, gosh, I can't remember.
It's all
what that
security
was.
stuff, isn't it? It's like all
It is, yeah. I can't remember what it is.
cybersecurity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's doing well. It's doing well.
I'll show you my positions, though, and you can look at them.
We
See
can-
if there's any ideas you can glean.
We can compare notes. Yeah, so you brought your, Chris got a new toy.
I've had this toy for a long time.
No, you haven't had the toy.
Yes, I have.
It's been out of your possession for a year.
Okay, true.
So you've owned
it's-
the toy.
it's been mine,
You've
yeah.
owned the toy.
Yeah.
But you haven't had it.
Yes.
So now it's a big
wanna
orange.
tell them what it is, Brian?
It's a big orange Bronco. It's a sexy beast, man. I mean, it's a good.
It's a
looking.
1976 Bronco, which means it's as old as I am. It's
No, you were
49
born in
years old.
76?
Born in 76.
No shit.
It's
God, you were
almost
old.
50 years old.
Really?
So that vehicle is as old as I am.
That's you guys share something in common.
Yes.
And it's brown and leathery.
But we ended up putting a
you're white and leathery.
5.0 Coyote motor in it out of the Mustang, and it is sweet.
It is badass. It sounds good. Looks good.
Sweet.
You haven't let me drive it yet. Fucking dick.
Drive it today? Go take off in it.
I'm gonna have a couple more.
I thought you were
whiskeys
going to
in
take it
there.
to lunch today.
I'm gonna have a couple more whiskeys.
I thought you were going to.
I should have.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
I
it.
heard your truck crank, and I was like, I can't believe you're not taking the
I
truck.
should have. I didn't even think about it. Yeah, it's a good looking car, man. It's
I was thinking we should do one of these podcasts actually riding in one of the cars, like maybe the Cybertruck.
we did that once.
Yeah, but I don't know that we did like an in-depth like tour of the vehicle. Like the
I think-
Cybertruck would be cool to do a tour of that.
We need more guests. I think.
Everybody
I
would
mean,
enjoy that.
I would like to hear everyone's opinion. Is it more interesting listening to us talk or having us have people on and listening to other people talk? Because
I don't think it matters one way or the other.
Craig Penland threw us a shout out the other couple weeks ago. I told him I need to get him on. Who else? There was someone else that wants to get on. I talked to the big guy Jeremy the other day, and we were talking about getting on again. So I think it'd be fun. We haven't had Alex on in a long time. We haven't talked about hose. We've been slanging hose in different area
He's
codes
been busy
lately.
over there,
Yeah,
man.
we've been rocking.
Yeah, he's busy with that.
So I was actually just talking to Dang. I'm gonna go over there soon. I need to.
The other thing, MRC and DNOW merged. Isn't that cool news?
I would love to be a fly on the wall in that meeting.
Yeah.
I mean, DNOW, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything, but it definitely seems like MRC is taking over DNOW. They called it a merger, but
I've heard it the other way around though too.
really? It's interesting. I don't know. But now they're the beast. So you got Ferguson now, who's got to be sitting there like, what are we going to do? Right?
But yeah, that's true.
I mean, because you had really three big boys in that PVF industrial distribution market. And now two of them have joined. And
Well, really for downstream though, I think there's other players in the upstream and midstream market. that,
yeah. I mean, Edgerton, and you got all sorts of other guys out there running around.
There's
But,
lots of them. I mean, even Traeger and all those guys are
Sure.
in that sector.
but I think from a size standpoint, I mean, they're the beasts.
Yeah.
But I think anytime that stuff happens, there's always spin-offs, right? someone's going to be disgruntled. They're going to leave, and they're going to
Well,
start
it
their own
creates
thing
room in the market for another player
Exactly.
too. That'll
Exactly.
step up and kind of fill that void.
of service, and for sure. That's what it's all about.
We know how that goes.
Yep. We went to Downstream this week.
Is that cool? Yeah.
It was okay. I mean, I hung out with some customers and saw a couple, new guys, but
That's kind of what it boils down to these days, right?
that's it. I mean, it's a good place to go see like 4 or 5 customers and a couple vendors and, shake hands and, kiss cheeks.
What's up this weekend? Cubbies?
That's it, baby.
You're
I'm not going tonight.
dedicated?
I'm going tomorrow and Sunday.
Oh, cool.
So I'm gonna probably drink too much whiskey and watch tonight's game. And then Cubs, 6:15 tomorrow. It's on Fox. And then I think it's a 1:15 start on Sunday. What
We got that $20 on
tonight?
the game tonight.
Yeah. That's like
I'm chilling. I'm gonna probably work on the Bronco a little bit and hang out the house.
we were joking. Chris doesn't even drive his cars. He just sits in his garage and looks at them.
And drinks whiskey with
Yeah,
it.
and just sits there and fondles their tires.
Don't get jealous.
I'm not. I mean,
why are you jealous?
I'm not jealous. Well, I am jealous, but I would probably do the same thing. I mean, just sit there and look at them.
Why not?
Because they're too pretty to drive. I mean, we were talking about
No,
it. You
really,
wouldn't
it's
take
an
that
old
thing.
50-year-old car. It's
Dude.
no, it's
Let
not
that thing
pretty.
eat. Let it eat.
It's not that pretty.
Take it to the beach.
It looks
What's
pretty
that?
from like 50 feet away,
Yeah.
but you walk up to it, it's still a 50-year-old car.
It's still cool. All right, we've rambled on long enough, I think.
I don't know. We could do this for a little while longer.
You want to?
Yeah.
How much longer?
We'll cut the tape and we'll keep doing it.
Yeah, and we'll keep sitting here chatting about nothing.
All right. 96. We're approaching.
97.
We're approaching 100.
We have 3 more. So Brinley wants to be on 100. She keeps bugging me. She's like, "Are you on 100, Daddy?"
We should have like cameos from lots of different
I think it's
people.
a good
We
idea.
should plan that.
It's going to be an hour-long episode,
Maybe all of our past guests we could bring on for just a
a
cameo,
good idea.
just to catch up.
and we could have Rachel come and do a little short stint on. We can have Chavez come do a little short stint.
I like it.
Jamie is in. Look, Jamie smiles. She just can't wait to get on this podcast.
We got 4th of July episode next week, right?
Oh yeah.
We'll do one Thursday.
We got to wear our jumpsuits,
Yeah, that's
right?
fine. Yeah, I'll
or
do that.
overalls with no shirts.
I'll do that.
underneath.
Driving the Bronco with our onesies on.
You know what? I'm gonna wear the overalls. I'm gonna cut them into shorts though.
You should.
Special delivery day.
Yeah, I
That's
like
not
it.
bad.
I like it. Done.
Cheers,
Adios.
man.
Thanks for watching.
Have a good weekend.